Hey guys, so I'm in the process of weighing cars and getting the couplers all set and everything, and I thought maybe I would shoot a quick video, show you how I do it. Whether or not it's right or wrong, who knows, but it's the way that I do it, and it's worked well for me over the years. And let me just go up over here and let's just grab a boxcar, one of these guys, this fella right here, I think. Because he's, yeah. So, I made this little chart. So I went on the NMRA site, found out what the weights are supposed to be. So they have, you start off at 1 ounce, and then it's a 1/4 ounce for every additional 1/2 inch, is what they recommend. So every inch, it goes up a 1/2 ounce. So I just made my paper. So the first 1/2 inch, see, goes up to 1.25, and then the next and the next. So to find out what your car is supposed to weigh, you just simply lay it on the chart. So you lay it on this edge, and we look down at this edge here. So this boxcar should weigh 4.5 ounces. So now all we do is we go back here. I just got a little digital scale, just a kitchen scale. Turn the scale on, and it's 0 there. Lay it on. And it's 3.9, so we're about a 1/2 ounce short. So what I did is I bought these things right here. They weren't expensive. They're adhesive steel wheel weights. These are for motorcycles, and they're 1/4 ounce, so they're perfect. So we need to go up a 1/2 ounce or a little more. So all we do is we take our scissors, we cut that in the middle. So we've got 2 of them. Lay it on our scale. Now we're up to 4.4. That's pretty close. So when it comes to doing my my wheels, let me just get this here around a little bit. So all I do, I just take my screwdriver and I just put it underneath the front. See that? Between the wheel and the, I just stick that in there, and I hold the wheel with my fingers, and I just lift up on that a little bit, and the wheel will pop right out. See that? Just like that. And then I do the same thing on the back one. You just pop that one out. But I always hang on to the old wheels too, because you never know when you might need them. Now you can see that this is an old car. Look, it's all rusted on the bottom. The coupler cover, the KD cover is all rusted. Who cares? Works. So we take out our package of steel wheels and we just start popping them in. And they pop in quite easy. See that? So there's the wheels in. We'll do the other end. There. So now if we check the weight on our car, now that we put the steel wheels in, it's probably going to be a little bit heavier. 4.1, see? So now we put 2 weights on, we're at 4.6. So now we can see, yeah, the coupler heights are perfect. So we'll turn this car around. So there we go. That one there, yeah, that's pretty much perfect. Pretty much bang on there, see that? So our coupler heights are good. So now all we got to do is put the weight inside the car. Now all we got to do is pop the top off of this car. So to do that, it's usually pretty slick. So you just go in between the side of the box car. So you just go between here. See how that flexes out? You just stick your screwdriver in between there. Stick it in a little bit and just pop it out like that. There. We'll cut our 2 weights apart. And it's always nice to put the weight as close to being over the top of the wheels as possible. So I just always put them just ahead of where the screw, because the screw sometimes wants to pop through, you know, if you have to put a longer screw through in the center of the truck, see? So I just put that just a little bit ahead. But yeah, these things are like, look, I picked that up by the wheel weight. They're unbelievable how well they stick. And so we'll stick this guy on just ahead of the screw hole. We snap the cover back on this car, so that's back in its place, all snapped in. So now let's turn our scale back on. Scale has zeroed itself. Set the car on 4.6. So what I always do once I get it to that stage, I flip the car over. I just take a Sharpie. I put a little check mark on the bottom, just like that. So just in case you're ever wondering, if you're ever, if you have a bunch of cars on your layout and you need to make sure that that they're all weighed or whatever, or maybe you missed one or whatever, then at least you'll know by looking at the bottom. You can find your little check mark, and you know that that car is good to go. So now we come up here onto the layout. Put the car on. Look at that. Now here's something else. So I started working on this car. This is a different one than from before. So you can see that this is an old, would have been a horn hook type coupler mounted right to the truck. You can see where they cut it off. This is another old car that I bought, and they mounted the couplers here on the body, which is good. They don't have KD couplers in here, so we're going to have to change that out. But what I wanted to show you was sometimes when you buy used cars, you're always wondering, is that a metal wheel? Because sometimes it's hard to tell. They could look, cat hair there, they can look like a metal wheel and they're plastic, or sometimes they look plastic and they're metal. So here's a little trick I use to know for sure if you have a metal wheel or a plastic wheel when you buy used cars. I break out my trusty old multimeter and I set it to ohms resistance. And I'm not sure if you guys know, or anybody that doesn't know, so when you're checking ohms resistance, if you touch these two together, it should go down to 0 because there's no resistance there. The electricity can go right through from one wire to the other. So you're going to be at 0. Let's just look at this car, for example. Same thing. It's a used car that I bought. Are those plastic or are those steel? Well, it's hard to tell. But watch this. If you take just one wheel, so don't go across two of them, and you touch the other lead on, see the gauge going on the multimeter? It went down to 0. So that's a metal wheel because electricity can travel through it. See that? The gauge is going down. So if we take this car and we're going to do the same thing, is this a steel wheel or a plastic wheel? Touch the leads, nothing. Not a thing. So that's a plastic wheel. See? Because electricity will not travel through plastic. So there's just a little trick for you. If you ever buy a used car and you're wondering, is that a steel wheel or a plastic wheel? That's the best way to find out right there. It throws all guesses out the window. So yeah, just by using that little trick, use a multimeter, you'll know for sure every time.